When you stand before a painting or a marble sculpture, the entire work exists in a single, completely frozen moment. You can perceive the beginning, the middle, and the end with a single glance. Music demands a different kind of attention because it is bound to the clock. A melody cannot be consumed all at once. It must unfold second by second, requiring the listener to journey through time alongside the composer. Most of us carry a deep-seated anxiety regarding things that end. We often measure the value of an experience by its permanence, viewing a conclusion as a tragedy rather than a destination. However, applying a mindset of permanence to a temporal experience, like music or a human life, distorts the reality of the medium. The beauty of these journeys is found specifically in their movement forward. Consider the physical mechanics of a single isolated musical note. A vibrating string produces a specific pitch, a measurable timbre, and unique acoustics. It is a discrete data point in space. Despite those physical facts, that note carries no narrative weight. On its own, it cannot tell you if it belongs to a funeral march or a celebratory dance. It is a coordinate without a direction. This same logic applies to a single hour of a person's life. A moment of quiet reflection or a flash of temper is just a static point on a timeline. It lacks the context of the years that preceded it and the years that will follow. Meaning requires the relationship between these points. It only emerges through a continuous progression, moving from a definitive start toward an eventual necessary conclusion. Structure begins at the interval, the transition between notes. Here, the emotional logic of a composition actually lives. A narrative arc relies on melody, harmony, and the deliberate spaces of silence. These pauses define rhythm, letting us process the weight of preceding notes. We can map this directly to the human experience. An individual's identity is forged in the transitions between different chapters, the moves, the career shifts, and the changing relationships that bridge one milestone to the next. The character of a life is defined by this movement. We are the sum of the dynamic relationships that fill the gaps between our static achievements. Every great composition relies on tension and release. Composers use deliberate dissonance, clashing, unstable sounds, to provide the necessary context that makes a subsequent harmony feel like a resolution. The profound depth of a joyous chorus relies on the listener having just endured a quiet, melancholy verse. The contrast provides the scale. Life's dissonances follow this same structural logic. Periods of struggle, sorrow, or failure act as the clashing chords in our personal narrative. Hardships provide the structural tension required for our eventual resolutions to feel earned. They are the weight that gives the lighter moments their beauty. We often struggle with the idea that the end of an experience somehow invalidates everything that came before it. But consider a song that never terminates, or a note held indefinitely. It quickly ceases to be art and becomes mere noise. A conclusion is a structural requirement for meaning. Think of a symphony's final chord. It reverberates through the hall, hanging in the air for a moment before fading naturally into the silence of the room. This final silence completes the composition. It seals the arrangement of notes into a unified, finished work. A piece of music exists as a complete entity precisely because it has a boundary. By accepting the end, we allow the work to become a whole. Viewing life through this musical lens shifts our perspective. We can stop chasing the goal of permanence and instead accept the natural boundaries of time. The focus shifts away from the length of the journey and toward the quality of the melody we are currently unfolding. Purpose is found in the unique arrangement of notes, pauses, and harmonies we create while the music is still playing. This was brought to you by Notes and Silences. Thank you for listening. Having an ending does not rob a life of its purpose. It provides the final boundary that defines the melody we spent our time creating.